Hi, it's Wednesday, and that means it's time for another video edition of Widower Wednesday. I'm Abel Keogh, author of the book Dating a Widower, and today we are going to discuss what should be done with the late wife's Christmas stocking. This is an issue that comes up during this time of year, whether it's in my Dating a Widower Facebook group, or in my inbox, or in coaching sessions. It seems like there's always an incident where the woman goes over to the widower's house, and it's all now decorated for the holiday. There's a tree up, and along with the tree and lights and all the other beauty, there's stockings, and sometimes it includes the late wife's stocking. So in this video, I'm going to talk to widows and widowers who are still hanging up the late wife's stocking, or their late spouse's stocking, as the case may be, and also talk to those who might find themselves in the uncomfortable situation of, what do I do when I see the late wife's or the late husband's stocking up? What is it that I should do? But first, I'm going to talk to the widows and widowers, and this is really for those who are in serious relationships or exclusive relationships, at least where it's serious enough where you're inviting this person over to spend the holidays at your house. If you're not dating or in a casual thing, hang out the late spouse's stocking all you want, though I think you should watch this video to maybe see if that's really the best thing to do. But if you're in this exclusive or a very serious relationship with someone and you're inviting them over to your house, I want you to think about, what is the message that having the stocking of the late spouse sends to the new person in your life? Is it that, hey, I'm not ready to open my heart? Is it that I'm not ready to move on? Is it that, hey, I will always love this person? And maybe you will always love that person, but I want you to think about it from the other person's point of view. They walk in, you've told them that, hey, I'm ready to start a new life with you. I want you to be my number one. And they walk in and there's a stocking there of the late spouse. How do you think they're going to take that? Is that a sign that you're ready to move forward, that you're ready to open your heart? Or is it a sign that maybe you're not ready to do that? Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, well, I have kids. I hang up the late spouse's stocking for the kids. Okay, I get that, and I'll talk about maybe a way to address that concern in a minute. But I really want you to take a minute and think about, what is that message that you're sending to this new person in your life when they see the late spouse's stocking there. I mean, if you talk to I've been doing this for years, and I have yet to meet someone who thinks it's a great idea that the late spouse's stocking is hanging up. A lot of times it makes them feel like number two. It makes them feel like they're dating a married person or dating someone who is not ready to open their heart. And it's a powerful symbol, hanging that stocking up. And I think, if you're thinking about a relationship with this person, you have really got to consider how hanging that up affects the relationship. And is it worth it? Is it worth having this stocking up if it means that I might end the relationship? Can't answer that question for you, but it's something I want you to be thinking about. The other thing I want you to be thinking about is what I call sad triggers. I'm not a fan of sad triggers, and for those who don't know what a sad trigger is, that's something that reminds you of your loss, and it makes you sad or brings you back to maybe happier times, and it's not helping you move forward. So many times, stockings hanging from the mantle or wherever it is of the late spouse is a sad trigger. It's a reminder that this person isn't going to be here for the holidays with me. And I get it. I know what it's like. I mean, when I lost Krista, I think Thanksgiving was 2 weeks later, and Christmas was a month after that, and then New Year's. I mean, I had went through all like 3 holidays in less than 2 months after losing my late wife. It was just this crazy thing, and I just, I just remember it was just like, I've just felt numb the entire time. Just wasn't the holiday season, just this weird thing. But at the same time, it's like, you've got to be thinking about, is hanging the stocking, is this pulling you back? Is this making you sad, or is it making you happy? I'm not a fan of these sad triggers. I'm not a fan of things that remind you of loss and make you feel like, oh, this person's not going to be here during this time, or I miss this person. And I understand those feelings might be there anyway, and that the holidays might invoke those feelings, but are you doing something? Are you hanging something up? Are you doing something that's going to even make that worse, so to speak? So my other reason I don't like these stockings, again, they're sad triggers. So again, what's the message that it's sending is not only to the person you're dating, but what's the message that it's sending to you? And is it something that is sad and maybe not helping you move forward? Now, again, I know a lot of you are thinking, well, what about the kids? This is very comforting for the kids to see the stocking up there, and that may be the case. But I think you need to remember that your connection to your late spouse, or your kid's connection to their, their parent that died, it lives on in your memories and in your heart. It doesn't live on in physical objects. And I think that the best way to handle this, especially if there are children involved, is to do some kind of, I don't know, some kind of ceremony where they can say goodbye to the late spouse's stocking. And I don't know exactly what that is, whether it's, giving them whether you're sitting around just telling good holiday memories about mom or dad or whatever, but just give them kind of a chance to say goodbye. I'm even okay if if the kids are really attached to it, maybe even hanging it in their room over the holidays. But if you're in a serious relationship, the stocking has no place out in the public. Especially if you're inviting, your new squeeze over, your new fiance, or whatever it is, the late spouse stocking has no business being out there in public. So again, I think the best way to deal with it is, again, you can put it in the kids' room if they want to hang it there, or again, maybe do some kind of ceremony where they can again share memories and say goodbye. I honestly think that is the best way to deal with it. Again, it goes back to a lot of times we just have a hard time saying goodbye to people, and doing these rituals or doing something where we can say goodbye to the object helps us move on, move forward, but they, again, not have those sad triggers and maybe not miss that stocking as much. So there's my advice to widows and widowers. For those who are dating widows and widowers, you show up at the house, the late spouse's stocking is there. You're thinking, oh my gosh, what is it that I do? What is it that I say? Here's my suggestion for you is one, is that what you permit, you promote. And now I understand you may not know what to say exactly, or what to do, but if you keep quiet about it, I'm not saying you have to make a big scene about it just right then. Who knows? It depends on the circumstances and who's in the room and things like that. But basically, you guys know this philosophy that I have is what you permit, you promote. If you say nothing about it, if you keep coming back to the house and the stocking's there when it makes you uncomfortable, you're telling him that the stocking doesn't bother you. This is something that needs to be addressed. And so I think it's fair to go to set some healthy boundaries here with the widower or the widow that that you're seeing, and then go to them and say, look, I want to spend the holidays with you. I want to spend time with you at your house. But when I go to your house and the late spouse's stocking is there, it makes me feel that I'm dating a married man, or it makes me feel like you're not ready to open your heart. You can kind of frame it like that, and because let's face it, it's true, and then give the widower a chance to decide what it is that he's going to do here. Is he going to take the stocking down to make you comfortable, or is he going to value putting the stocking up? And you have to let him make that choice and decide what it is he's going to do. But if you stay there in a place where it makes you uncomfortable, if you don't say anything, you're telling him that it's good. Now, if he refuses to take the stocking down, I know some of you are worried, oh my gosh, what if I tell him this and he doesn't take it down? Then your choice is not to spend the holidays with them. I mean, you can do it or not, but what's the message that you're sending? I've talked here, what's the message that the stocking is sending to the person that the widower is dating? Well, what's the message that you're sending if you end up spending the holidays with him and the stocking's up there? What's the message you send to him if you set some healthy boundaries and say, well, I don't feel like you're ready to move on. I'm not going to spend the holidays, or I'm not going to come over to your house. What's the message that you're sending to him? And I get it. The holidays are hard. There's kids involved. There's family involved. There's lots of emotion involved. But you've got to be able to set those healthy boundaries, and you've got to be able to have those hard conversations and let the widower decide what it is. Because if he can't take the stocking down for you, I guarantee there's going to be other things that are going to come up next month, next year, that he's not going to be able to do for you as well. But you need to give him that choice. You need to give him the ability to decide what it is that he wants to do. If he chooses the stocking, well, it's usually a sign he's not ready to open his heart. I'm Abel Keogh, author of the book Dating a Widower. If you'd like to leave a comment, share your own holiday stories, you can do that in the comments below. Please like this video and subscribe so you can get updates. If you want to schedule a coaching sessions and discuss holiday-related issues or any other issues that come with dating a widower, there's a link in the description where you can do that as well. I'm Abel Keogh, author of the book Dating a Widower, and I'll see you next Wednesday.